Something about Bingo's past doesn't add up, and once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Bluey's next phase is quietly setting up a huge Bingo storyline, and the clues have been sitting in front of us the whole time. And here's where things suddenly get unsettling. In the Bumby episode, while everyone's focused on Bluey's play, there's a tiny moment that lands like a punch to the gut. Bingo, sweet, gentle Bingo, struggles with something most viewers completely miss: her breathing. It's subtle, almost hidden under the humor and warmth of the episode, but when you replay that hospital scene, the tone shifts. The doctor listens to her lungs, nods, and says they sound strong. Good news, right? Except, not really, because immediately after reassuring her, that same doctor refused to discharge her. He says she needs to stay one more night for observation, and that word, observation, carries weight. You don't keep a child overnight for just in case. Not when her lungs supposedly sound perfect. Something happened that the show isn't spelling out yet, and that's why fans believe Season 5 is going to tackle this head-on. A deeper, emotional episode that finally explains what Bingo's been carrying quietly in the background. A condition that might influence her dreams, her fears, even the way she grows up. If Bluey has always handled childhood truthfully, then this storyline could become one of the most heartfelt arcs the series has ever created. Would you want the show to explore this more openly? But here's the twist everyone forgets. Bluey isn't even in Season 5 yet. Technically, we're heading into Season 4. So why are Season 5 theories exploding everywhere? Because Ludo Studios planned the show in phases, far ahead of what we're seeing on screen right now. These future phase elements are already baked into earlier episodes, so even if Season 5 hasn't aired, the groundwork absolutely exists, and that makes every detail, from photos to dreams to tiny medical hints, way more important than it seems. And just when you think the theories are stretching, this next one feels almost too perfect. Sleepytime wasn't just an episode, it was a cultural moment, a masterpiece, and according to the clues sprinkled around the series, Bingo's dream journey isn't over. The next chapter takes her underwater. Picture this: Bingo drifts into a dream where she's not floating among stars, but swimming through a deep, glowing ocean as a tiny baby whale. At first, everything's peaceful, quiet. Soft current carried her along like a lullaby. But then the mood shifts. Shadows move, currents change. The water gets colder. Little dangers appear, small but overwhelming for someone her size. And just when the tension tightens, a massive figure rises from the blue. Bandit. Not as the goofy dad we know, but as a gigantic, gentle whale towering over her, guiding her through the chaos, protecting her the same way the whale mother protects her calf in the whale-watching episode. It's symbolic, it's emotional, and it mirrors the exact stage of Bingo's life where she needs reassurance, whether from her illness, her fears, or simply growing up. If Sleepytime Part 2 happens, it might be the most emotionally charged episode in the entire series. And here's the detail almost everyone overlooked. In the surprise episode, there's a photo of adult Bingo standing on what looks like the dog version of Easter Island. That single image says more about her future than an entire episode could. Easter Island is ridiculously far from Australia, about as other side of the world as it gets. So for Bingo to appear there as an adult means one thing: she becomes a traveler. Not just a tourist, but someone who moves with purpose. And that lines up perfectly with Curry Quest. Remember how deeply Bingo struggles when Bandit travels for work? The way she misses him, worries about him, clings to the idea of him coming home? The show was quietly laying the groundwork. The daughter who once feared her dad leaving eventually grows into someone who follows in his footsteps. Season 5 could be the moment we see the spark of that transformation, the beginning of her life as an explorer. And trust me, this next part feels even more fitting. If there's one thing that lights Bingo up instantly, it's insects. The slide episode made that crystal clear. While everyone else shrieks or swats things away, Bingo crouches down, observes, and protects. She treats bugs like tiny treasures. And then there's Flappy, the butterfly she meets, names, and practically adopts on the spot. That wasn't random. That was character writing. So imagine Season 5 leaning into that. A new episode where Bingo discovers a beetle or stumbles onto an insect most grown-ups don't even notice, and the entire story spirals into her learning something meaningful, maybe even scientific about it. And who knows? Kids in Bluey's world become adults with surprisingly realistic careers. Bingo becoming an entomologist or an explorer who specializes in insects fits her like a glove, and if one day she discovers a brand new species, that would feel like the most Bingo thing ever. But the part that ties all of this together is her friendship with Lila. Bingo and Lila met as tiny kids in school, and nothing about their bond feels temporary. In fact, the show flat out confirms it isn't. A future photo, again from Daddy Drop-Off, shows them not only grown up, but graduating together and winning a science award, side by side, still partners. That small detail carries a huge implication. They don't just stay friends, they work together, they build something. Maybe Lila becomes the steady hand behind Bingo's explorations. Maybe she documents, researches, or even travels with her. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise anyone if Lila were the one who took that Easter Island photo. It just fits. Their story isn't ending. It's barely getting started. And this next part, yeah, this one's going to hurt. Floppy isn't just a stuffed bunny. He's been with Bingo since she was barely toddling around the house. Every nap, every tear, every dream, Floppy was there, tucked under her arm like a tiny guardian. But Season 5 is where that childhood comfort finally meets reality. Bingo's growing up, and with Brandy expecting a baby, the show is hinting at a heartbreaker. Bingo choosing to give Floppy away. Not because she stops loving him, but because someone else needs him more. That moment, passing her good dreams companion to a tiny new cousin, would hit like a ton of bricks. It's symbolic, emotional, and painfully honest. The moment a child realizes comfort isn't something you only keep, it's something you can pass on. What would you do if you had to give away your childhood buddy? And here's the twist that fans absolutely adore. Dougie, the little pup who communicates in sign language, has been quietly positioned as Bingo's future partner. Their almost moment at the park says everything, both reaching for the same stuffed turtle, both pausing like fate tapped them on the shoulder, but the timing wasn't right yet. Bluey let that moment hang in midair, waiting for a future episode to bring it full circle. So picture this. Bingo, now older, bumps into Dougie again. And this time, they remember. The turtle, the park. The silence wasn't awkward, just warm. Their entire relationship will hinge on something beautiful. Bingo learning sign language, not because she has to, but because she wants to. Because understanding someone matters. Fans love them together for a reason. They feel real, soft, earnest, the kind of romance Bluey would actually write. But this layer takes the theory to a whole new level. Back in the surprise episode, Bingo imagines herself as a mom with a whole bunch of babies. But one of those baby designs stands out. The head doesn't match the body, and Bandit jokes about swapping. Bingo refuses. She loves that baby exactly as they are. That tiny moment might be a clue. If Dougie really becomes her future partner, it's possible one of Bingo's pups could be born dead too. A beautiful continuity of family, acceptance, and identity, handled in a gentle, Bluey kind of way. Season 5 may even introduce Bingo's daughter alongside Bluey's daughter, since both cousins appear in future flash-forwards. The catch? They don't live together as adults, so their kids need to grow up close by. Which means another big family move is coming, and just when you think the emotional stuff is slowing down, the magic returns. In the fairies episode, Bingo is the only one who actually sees a fairy. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's her imagination leveling up. But it ties directly to the episode Bingo, where she admits she doesn't know how to play alone. She struggles with solitude and creativity. So what if Season 5 brings that fairy back? Not as a literal creature, but as an imaginative friend. Bingo creates all on her own. A sign that she's grown, emotionally and creatively, that she can soothe herself, entertain herself, and dream bigger than before. It would be a gorgeous callback to her earliest struggles, and a celebration of how far she's come. But this next point might be the most important shift in her entire story. A lot of people don't realize it, but Bingo already goes through tiny therapy sessions at home. In Grumpy, when she spirals into frustration, Bandit grabs that horned helmet and instantly becomes her bad mood, acting out everything she feels but can't say. It's silly, but it's also brilliant. an improvised emotional toolkit only the healers could pull off. Season 5 might finally take this further, not in a heavy way, but through an episode where Bingo talks to an actual child psychologist, someone who helps her understand the things she feels, big worries, big joys, big fears, without shame. Bluey has always handled emotional intelligence better than most shows, and giving Bingo a genuine mental health growth arc would be powerful, honest, and deeply relatable. It'd show kids watching that it's okay to ask for help, and okay to feel things deeply. And finally, the moment that connects everything. Bandit once buried a time capsule with Bluey and Bingo, filling it with tiny pieces of their childhood. Bingo was the one who said she never wanted to grow up, her voice cracking just a little as she chose her item. But the future episode in Surprise already showed the payoff. Adult Bluey visiting her parents, daughter in tow, and Bingo was there that day. Season 5 will likely give us the missing piece. The Healer sisters, now grown, are digging up that old capsule with their own kids watching. A perfect full-circle moment about memory, family, and how childhood never really leaves you. It just gets carried forward. Imagine Bingo opening that box and seeing something she placed inside decades earlier. That moment will crush everyone. And honestly, if all these hints line up, Season 5 might become Bingo's biggest chapter yet. Every clue feels like it's been waiting for this moment. So what's your take on it? Drop your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe. More theories coming soon.